Hello? Can anybody hear me? I'm not sure how many people are watching. It looks like maybe one. What's going on? Mr. One. It looks like George Falzon, possibly. All right, two people watching. Awesome. Sorry for the late start. I had camera issues, of course, in the last second, despite, of course, all the testing and, all of those things. I'm here. And we're doing this. How's it going, guys? Welcome, Eugene Rawis and Mike and Kelly from Orlando. Mike and Kelly, you've been around for a while, and I don't know you, but you're from Orlando, which is awesome because that's where I'm from. And I just think it's cool that there's somebody in Orlando watching my silly videos, my silly pawn shop hauls. Hopefully, it's getting you inspired to get out to some of my usual haunts. Yeah, so I really hate this webcam shot. I know you guys don't care, but I bought this really expensive camera, the Sony ZV-E10. Not crazy expensive, but somewhere north of $800. And I do marketing in real life, so that's really what I bought the camera for. But of course, the Blu-ray channel gets the benefit from it. And so, are you guys hearing me okay? I think I need somebody to just drop into the chat and say, yes, we are hearing you okay. Testing, testing. It looks like I have levels. So, like I said, I had to pivot at the last second because the camera was being finicky. So, I think the only way to get the camera back is to end the stream, but I'd rather just do this, right? Let's just do it. Who cares, right? Made plans. All right. What we're doing here today, certainly at any point, if you guys want me to talk about something specific or you have a question for me, just drop it in the chat. I will be watching the chat. So I'll just stop what I'm doing and answer you. And tangents are fine with me. It's all good. But the main point of this video is for me to get through a box of Blu-rays that I bought on Facebook Marketplace. I bought this box a little while ago, and I've been thinking about how to do a video on this box, but it's 125 titles, and that's a lot for like one video, right? Because normally I'll do like 16 to 20 titles in a video, and it takes like 10 to 15 minutes. So at 125 titles, it might take a while. So thought about splitting up the videos, but I was like, just took forever. And then recently I started remodeling my kitchen and it's just dominating my time, which is why the videos have been later the last couple of weeks. But are you going to get more bookshelves for your Blu-rays? That's a good question. As you can see, these are my bookshelves. You can also see I'm outgrowing them, right? For sure. And these are just the ones that are on camera. There's probably 100 over there and maybe 100 over there as well. Some of them are on eBay. They're not necessarily a part of my collection, but yeah, I'm quickly outgrowing my shelves. In fact, I'm lining them across the top, and there's so many that R2D2 is at risk of plopping off the edge. So to answer your question, are you going to get more bookshelves for your Blu-rays? I don't really like the wall of Blu-rays. I know other people do. They like walking or they like seeing a room where it's like floor to ceiling Blu-rays. But I don't know, it just feels too cavernous for me. So to answer your question, the longest way possible, yes, but probably not going up. I have enough room for there's 3 shelves here in a row. I have enough room to add a 4th. So I'm going to add a 4th so they'll go one distance of the wall to the other. It's literally from one side of the wall to the other with no space wasted. I'll probably do that at some point. So yes, I will. But when I first got these shelves, I decided this was it, right? This was as big as the collection got. If I outgrew them, then I would get rid of titles that I don't want and buy titles that I want more, right? But obviously, you guys know how it goes. That is officially out the window at this point, I would say, because I started using the top. I started stacking them on the sides. You guys are all collectors, at some point you outgrow your shelves. I mean, what else can you do? I can't get rid of some of them. They're too near and dear to my heart. Another question. This is from Austin St. Pierre. Where do you get your shelves displaying your Blu-rays? I got these from Wayfair, and they're great shelves. They're half height shelves. They're actually advertised on Wayfair as like able to be hung on the wall, which which I don't do. In fact, if you have small kids, I would not suggest the way I'm doing it, because these are really intended to be hung on the wall. They don't have like a large footprint. So if little fingers grabbed the shelf and pulled towards them, it would probably topple over on top of them. Now, I live alone with my dog. I don't have too much worry about that. They sit flat, and as long as nobody's trying to climb them, they're going to stay put. But if you do have small kids or you have any of those types of concerns, I would, even if you don't hang them, somehow attach them to the wall. Because I'm sure you guys have seen most of these have like a large footprint, even if the shelves themselves are Blu-ray DVD depth. But yeah, so that's how I'm doing these. They're not intended to be on the ground, but they are. I've actually thought about mounting them on the wall, and I have strong walls. I mean, I own this condo. I know what's in the walls. I'm sure it would probably be able to handle it, but putting 3 of them on the wall and then filling them with Blu-rays feels like a lot of weight for one wall. So so that's also keeping me from actually hanging them. If you only had 1, I could see the wall would be fine. It'll probably be fine with 3 if I ever do it, but for now, they're just sitting on the ground. Anyway, let's get into this Facebook Marketplace haul. I paid $250 for 125 titles. That's an average of $2 per title. In this box, there was 10 3D titles. There's 38 titles with slipcover. There's 10 brand new titles. And there's 27 titles that came with digital codes. I'm probably not going to open up each one just because that would take forever. I'll probably just show you guys and talk about the movies and answer any questions that pop up over the course. And yeah, this box has a lot of very common titles, so definitely not all of them are worth even $2 alone. Like if you were trying to resell them, there's a good deal. By good deal, I mean maybe 30 to 40 of them that are probably worth less than $2. But there's definitely a couple that are worth more than that. And as it goes with pretty much all of my hauls, you'll see in the end, I'm going to come out fine and be able to add some to the collection. And that's ultimately the goal, is to buy a big collection and sell the ones I don't want and keep the ones that I do. And in the end, be able to pay off all the titles that I kept, and hopefully then some. So that's probably where I'll end up at the end of this. In fact, if my math's correct, and if people don't stop buying Blu-rays tomorrow, I will definitely get there. They will all be paid off, and I will make money in the end. By make money, I mean I just take that money and buy, brand new Blu-rays that I'll never find on the aftermarket, or they're hard to find on the aftermarket. So yeah, that's my buying strategy. Anyway, let's jump into this. I'm going to buzz through some of these, and if you guys want me to stop on something, just let me know in the chat. All right. Here we go. 300. You guys know this movie. I've resold a bunch of them. Not worth much. Probably about $1, I would guess. X-Men First Class. Same thing. Love the X-Men reboots. Kind of sad that Dark Phoenix flamed out in the end so harshly. I think it was released right before the pandemic. I mean, it wasn't a good movie anyway, but the release date was not great for it as well. But First Class is great, as well as a couple of the other ones after that. Forrest Gump, a classic, probably worth $2 or $3, maybe a little more, and a great movie, of course. I definitely have it. Is Forrest Gump on 4K? I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I don't remember. Mike and Kelly from Orlando say, got X-Men today for $1. Awesome. It's probably about what it's worth, I would guess. King Kong. So Forrest Gump does come in 4K. I don't know if I have it. I do have it. It's right over there somewhere. I have Forrest Gump on 4K. So yes, it is on 4K, and also I own it. When you buy tons of Blu-rays, they just kind of come in the door and out the door, and you very easily forget what you have and what you don't. I have an app on my phone that tracks it, and if it wasn't for that, when I'm hunting out in the wild, I would be totally screwed. That's for sure. Because at this point, I'm buying them faster than I can even like remember that I've bought them for the most part. So I'm sure some of you have that problem as well. The King Kong Peter Jackson remake, also not worth a ton of money. Most of these aren't going to be worth a ton of money until we get closer to the end, of course, because, you know, suspense and stuff. The Strangers, good movie. Definitely better than the second one. Little hard to watch, for sure. I don't particularly love movies where people get tortured, and that kind of happens in that movie. Prometheus with slipcover. I should mention before we keep going, these were all from one person, and they were all bought new by that person. And so they are pretty much 99.9% like new. I mean, like almost untouched completely. And so that's part of the reason why I paid $2 each, even though I knew a decent portion of them weren't worth much, is because I knew I could resell them. It's going to be a super easy resell. And I don't really have to even look at the condition of them because they're all one owner and well kept. So Prometheus, this is the 4-disc collector's edition. Now, I like Prometheus, but nobody needs 4 discs for Prometheus. That's for sure. I can't imagine what the special features are like for that movie to need 4 discs. But Cloud Atlas, movie from the Wachowski siblings, movie I enjoy, weird movie for sure. Yeah, not worth a whole lot either. But all the slipcovers in this collection are minty, which is awesome for sure. We got Basement Blues in the house. What's going on? Mr. Nichols is here as well. Welcome to the party. I don't know. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, again with minty slipcover. Pretty awesome. Not worth much. I'm excited about those 4K announcements for Pirates, though. I believe that happened. I don't know. I try to keep up with those, but I don't really buy new. So I keep up with it to know what's going to be out there. But when I get the chance to buy it, it'll probably be 6 months from now for the most part, for most releases. So like I have Lord of the Rings, which came out close to a year ago. I'm just biding my time before the Indiana Jones 4Ks come out, right? Well, I mean, they already came out. I'm biding my time before the Indiana Jones 4Ks hit eBay and the price comes down far enough from new for me to jump into it. So buy Mr. Nichols says buy new. What's that? I know exactly. I mean, I have no problem with people who like buying new. There are definitely benefits to buying new, right? You know what you're gonna get. You get it right away. You don't have to think about it. It's awesome. You don't have to go hunt it. It's great. But for me, the hunt is kind of part of the fun. So, although I've heard lately that even if you buy new, you kind of have to hunt things down these days. Crazy. The Hobbit 3D, right? Oh, that Prometheus was 3D as well. This is the second 3D title, The Hobbit, the first movie, An Unexpected Journey with lenticular cover. Pretty awful lenticular cover, really. There's like not a whole lot of movement, but you'd think this would be worth something. It's really not. It's like $1 or $2 on eBay. It's probably because, I mean, the Hobbit movies are fine, but who cares in the long run, right? Lord of the Rings is so much more watchable in my humble opinion. The Wolverine, the second standalone Wolverine movie, definitely better than the first. Not as good as Logan, right? I think we can all agree on that. Gangs of New York. This is your Martin Scorsese movie set in the early, I don't remember exactly when it's set, a while ago. But yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio, Daniel Day-Lewis, awesome cast, good movie. Have never rewatched it though. Only watched it the once. I don't know what that says about it. Starship Troopers, definitely a movie I've seen more than once. Kind of love Starship Troopers. What a weird, odd movie, odd way to tell a sci-fi story. Yeah, it just has a unique tone to it, and I don't think I own it. I'm pretty sure I don't. So I might be keeping that one, especially since it's minty fresh. Blow. Johnny Depp, Penelope Cruz. Great movie about a drug lord. I love this movie. I already own it. So that one is going away. Braveheart, another movie I own on 4K. So this one's going to go away. Another great one, obviously. What else can you say about that? Sleepy Hollow from Tim Burton. Another Johnny Depp movie. Lots of Johnny Depp movies in here between Pirates, Blow, this one. I'm sure there will be others. And I forget who the actress is in this. It's Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci. What happened to Christina Ricci? I've not seen her around much, but yeah, good Tim Burton movie. I know some people have deep love for it. I'm not sure I'm quite there, but I do like Tim Burton. Dawn of the Dead, the remake, not worth much. They sold about 1 billion of them. So Void King says the only thing I buy new is very good movie or is a special release like Criterion, Arrow, and others. I agree. Although you can probably find used Criterion, Arrow, and others. You might have to search for them a little bit, but and you might only get like $5 or $10 off the original price. The good thing about buying some of those boutique Blu-ray titles used is that there's a very good chance that it was very well cared for. So buying aftermarket is practically like buying new, minus getting the thrill of unwrapping the package. So if unwrapping the package to you is worth $5 to $10, if the thing is long since released, just buy used, right? Why not? Original The Thing, great movie, but it's been out on Blu-ray multiple times. Not worth much for sure. Interview with a Vampire. I should say a dude had this collection for sure. I mean, there's just not much other than movies that guys enjoy. Certainly, women can enjoy these movies as well, but there's like no rom-coms in here, or not even really dramas. It's mostly like, well, maybe Interview with a Vampire is a drama, but you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, Interview with a Vampire, great Tom Cruise movie. And what's her name? She played Mary Jane in the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. Kirsten Dunst is in it as well, like super young Kirsten Dunst. Deep Blue Sea, pretty cheesy. Not a great movie, but seems to stick around, even if it's not my favorite. Ghosts of Mars, John Carpenter. Love this movie. Super interesting. Ice Cube and Natasha Henstridge. I mean, it's not a good movie, but it's an interesting movie, right? Especially in the context of John Carpenter's career. I wish he had done more of these types of movies where it's definitely his horror style, but he's stepping out from like the neighborhood set, the neighborhood settings, typical slasher, and just changing up the wrapper. And, I like John Carpenter, and I really like Ghosts of Mars as well. I am keeping that one, by the way. Talladega Nights, good comedy. Maybe lesser Will Ferrell, but good. I already have it. The Departed, also good, but they've sold 1 billion of them in different formats, and so it's not worth much. A Bug's Life, not bad. I think this is worth like $6 or $7, so I'll definitely get a decent resale value on it. But yeah, not my favorite Pixar movie, but not a bad one. It was in the early days, so they were still finding the wheels, so to say. Collateral, Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx. I have this on 4K. This one's getting resold. Not worth a whole lot either, but good movie. Predator, the original Schwarzenegger version. I think this is like the first Blu-ray of Predator. 2010. That seems like that would have been pretty early. In flawless condition, but again, a title that they've released and re-released and put in collections. And so even if the original printing is completely out of print, the accessibility of the movie is super high in the same format. And so just not worth much. Mr. Nichols asks, how much was this lot? It was $250 from one seller. It's 125 titles. So you're looking at $2 per title. And I've actually priced all of these out. So at the end of the stream, I will tell you what the entire collection is worth. And right now we're going through the ones that aren't worth very much, and we will work our way towards the ones that are. So if you're watching this on archive and you just want to know that, maybe skip to later down on the stream, and then you'll see some more pricier titles. Interstellar from Christopher Nolan, another good movie. It's not worth much, for sure. Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible, another Tom Cruise movie. And a good one, probably my favorite Mission Impossible movie out of all of them. And I like all of them. Even the second one I enjoy. But Ghost Protocol kind of reset the series for me. Like part 3 was good. Joss Whedon, I think, directed that. Was it Joss Whedon? I don't think it was Joss Whedon. It's the guy who rebooted Star Wars, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I like, and that was part 4. I don't remember. Part 4 was Brad Bird for sure. Abrams, Josh Abrams, something like that. Void King, most movies with Ice-T in it are crap. Not saying he's a bad actor, but he's in a lot of bad ones. Sure. I mean, I don't watch every movie. Well, Ice-T. Okay, so Ice Cube, I would say, is in good movies. I can't really think of many movies that I've seen with Ice-T in it. But hello from Brazil. Hello, Bruno. All right, a lot of people are telling me J.J. Abrams. I was going to say Josh Abrams did not sound remotely correct. So thank you for the correction. Please, correction department, stop me when I'm wrong. There's nothing better than publishing a video and then having like 400 people watch it in the first 24 hours and realizing there's a really stupid mistake in it. Like I misspoke about something, or I was just completely wrong about something. And then everybody and their mother corrects you, which is fine. It's all good. It's not that big a deal, but a little bit of a perfectionist. So one of my things I have to get over. Anyway, another Tom Cruise movie. Whoever owned this before they sold it to me loved Tom Cruise, because you kind of have to love Tom Cruise to like this movie, right? Last Samurai. I mean, a decent, entertaining enough first time watch, but is anybody out there standing for Last Samurai? Nope. Django Unchained. Awesome, with perfect slipcover. Not worth a whole lot of money. I think they sold a bunch of them, or at least printed a bunch of them. You get 100 times, but comments are comments. Exactly. This is Judgment Day. No, sorry, Judgment Day. This is Dread in 3D. You wouldn't know unless you saw the little tiny 3D on the spine, or like, I think it barely says it right here. But yeah, this is Dread in 3D. I was hoping this was somewhat rare just because it's the 3D version. There's not a whole lot of them sold on eBay, and don't remember what it's worth. I think vague memory, $6 or $7, but nothing crazy. But again, minty slipcover. 22 Jump Street, the sequel to 21 Jump Street. Good comedy. I'm fine with it. Nothing I'd put on like a top 10 list or anything, but Gangster Squad, not a good movie, I would say. I think some people like it, but I don't hear too much love headed Gangster Squad's way. and also not worth much. You can find Gangster Squad in any pawn shop in Orlando, any day. The Expendables, again, with perfect slipcover, and this one is brand new, still sealed, and also not worth anything for the most part, like $1 or $2, even brand new. Probably because Expendables is another title that's been sold over and over and over again on different formats. So, Last Samurai is one of my favorite Tom Cruise films. That was Basement Blues. Interesting. Um, I mean, I'm not going to say that says something bad about you because, you know, whatever floats your boat for the most part. But wow, this stack is so high, it's like blocking my light. I'm gonna just bring this down. There we go. All right, I'm gonna attempt not to block my light with my discard pile. Yeah, Last Samurai being one of your okay. Is it your favorite or one of your favorites? Because there's a big difference there, for sure. Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift with slipcover. Yeah, perfect condition. Not worth a whole lot. The Thing. This is the recent remake with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Movie I enjoy. If it wasn't called The Thing, if it wasn't billed as like a remake prequel esque type thing to The Thing, then I think it would have done better. But unfortunately, it was marketed as all those things, and so people bag on it all the time. But I enjoy this movie. I do not own it. This one has a flawless slipcover, so I'm keeping it. At least to give it one rewatch, for sure. Bandit, how can I find your eBay store? There's a link in the description of any Bandit video, maybe even this video, I don't know for sure, that will get you to my eBay store. If you can't find that link, it's probably ebay.com/USR for like user / Blu-ray Bandit, possibly. Maybe Blu-ray_Bandit, something like that. But I think there's a link in the description. If not this video, just jump to another one and check it there. Basement Blues is probably talking about one of the thousands of copies he has. I know, I'm curious. Basement, let's be honest here. How many copies of Last Samurai do you currently own? I'm curious. Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides in 3D with lenticular slipcover. Again, not one that moves much, not very interesting. I like lenticulars when they actually try to make them interesting, but this, I mean, come on. If you're going to charge this was probably $30 and up on original release for this lenticular 3D version of On Stranger Tides. And this is what they did with the lenticular. Nothing's happening in it. It's ridiculous. I was hoping that one would be worth something. Not really. I mean, like $5 or something like that. Nothing crazy. Skyfall 007. Great slipcover. And I already own it. So not worth a whole lot. Scarface limited edition steelbook. Perfect condition. Not a scratch on it. And I'm going to sell it, and it's not worth a whole lot. I think it's like just under $10, like $7 or $8 from my memory. The only steelbook in this collection, and it's Scarface, which makes sense considering the rest of the collection, right? Lots of dude movies. Lots of typical dude movies, I should say. Basement Blue says he just owns one Best Buy exclusive steelbook of Last Samurai. All right. Good job. You held back on that one. Mr. Nichols writes, I love my lenticulars. Still thankful for the planes, trains, and automobiles slip you hooked me up with. I did hook you up with that. Yeah, Mr. Nichols, one of his holy grails, I think, one of many, was that planes, trains, and automobiles lenticular slipcover. And since I don't care about lenticulars for the most part, I sent it to him. I think we swapped for something. I don't remember. Fight Club. Another movie. It's been out on Blu-ray. It's been sold a bazillion times. This one has kind of that hinged slipcover. The slipcover is in perfect condition. With this hinged slipcover, I will get a few dollars more, but still not worth much. $5 or $6. The Hangover unrated edition. This is just the first movie. And this one, when I said it's like 99.9% undamaged, this one has a little bit of damage here on the cardboard slipcover. And also, look how fat this thing is. It's ridiculous. I mean, it comes with the original Blu-ray. I'm sure you've seen this out in the wild. And it also comes with this t-shirt brick. But it has the same UPC code as just the movie. So it's hard to look up what this is worth. I'm guessing not much because who cares, right? There's also like no information on the back about what's in the t-shirt. In fact, there's no mention that it's even going to come with a t-shirt. So basically, this could just be a white cloth, for all I know, packaged with a Blu-ray. I'm just assuming it's a t-shirt. But if anybody can find me a direct link to what the t-shirt in this package looks like, I'm curious, even though I'm not going to keep it because I have a trilogy pack for this one that's a space saver. That's the one that's going to exist in my collection, and this one going to eBay. The Patriot, Mel Gibson movie, directed by Roland Emmerich, director of Independence Day, 2012, amongst others. The sequel to Independence Day, which is not a good movie, but I like this one. Patriot, very good. Heath Ledger, early Heath Ledger. Love that guy. Wish he was still around. Kick-Ass, the original. Another good movie with a disappointing sequel. They sold 1 million of those, though. So not worth a whole lot of money. So, all right. Movies and Train Studios says, what's up? What's up? How's it going? Movies and Trains. Void King. Sad that there are no 4K releases of Fight Club. I agree. Seems like a movie that would do very well on 4K, but you know, I'm no studio head or whoever makes those decisions. But I'm assuming, in my amateur opinion, that they would sell a lot. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Speaking of Fight Club, this is another David Fincher movie. It's the remake of the Swedish trilogy. It's a remake of the first film in the Swedish trilogy. Or maybe it's not a remake of the film. Maybe it's just a straight adaptation of the original book. I don't know what Fincher would consider it, but don't really love this movie. I love Fincher. Don't hate this movie for sure. It's interesting, but I do feel like the Swedish trilogy is far better than where this movie was headed, for sure, by the end of it. I think the Swedish trilogy was probably enough. I'm not sure we needed an American version of this. And he had a big star with Daniel Craig. And so he focused more on the male character in the story. Whereas the Swedish version, you stick with the titular girl with the dragon tattoo far more. And so, yeah, this is like one of those book style. Whoop, hello. That's a digital code. This is like one of those book style Fincher Blu-rays. I think there's another one that's like this. I don't remember which one it is, but very nice for sure. And in perfect condition, and also not worth a whole lot of money, really, on the aftermarket. Kind of weird. Sometimes it's weird what's worth money and what's not, right? The more well-known it is, the less chance it's worth anything on the aftermarket. I mean, it makes logical sense because it just means there's far more supply than there is demand. But you'd think popular things would be expensive, and that's not always the case, for sure. Ted with slipcover, the unrated version. Perfectly fine, waste of time movie. Nothing that stuck with me, though. Fast Five, the aka the best Fast and Furious movie. Pretty great. Perfect slipcover. Not worth much because they've sold it and resold it and put it in collections on various formats, and very accessible movie for sure. Evil Dead remake. Another one that if it wasn't an Evil Dead remake, I think people would pay more attention to it. But since it is a remake of a beloved series, then yeah, it gets bagged on, even if it's not near as bad as what people pretend it is. But I enjoyed the first time watch and probably my only watch on that one. Just found the Hangover t-shirt. It's baby Carlos strapped to the front. All right. Can you send me a link? Just drop it in the comments or something. I don't know. Or DM it to me on Instagram. Something like that. Are you more of a Scorpion fan or a Sub-Zero fan from Mortal Kombat? That's a good question. I played a lot of original Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2. And then they changed the play mechanics a little bit in Mortal Kombat 3, and I fell off a little. But I used to play in arcades. I don't know if you remember those, kids, but there used to be these places called arcades where you stood in front of the machine, you dropped a quarter in it, and then you played against strangers for the most part. And I was pretty darn awesome at Mortal Kombat. And really, I started with Sub-Zero. And then eventually, like everybody else, moved to Scorpion because, he was overpowered. And his moves were better. So I guess I'm a Scorpion person. As far as the movies, Scorpion, for sure. Jurassic World, still sealed and not worth much. Not much to say about it either. I mean, the Jurassic Park movies, definitely diminishing returns over time. Dark Knight Rises, lenticular. Ooh, look at that movement, baby. Come on. So lazy. Give us some cool movement. So annoying. Perfect condition, even with the slipcover, in perfect condition, not worth much. Mad Max Fury Road. What to say about this movie? It's awesome, but a million of them were sold. Horror double pack. I'm going to be keeping this one because I love my double packs. This one has 13 Ghosts and House of Wax. Neither of which I've seen, although I have heard good things about 13 Ghosts. So I'm looking forward to checking it out at some point. And yeah, it'll only take up one spot on my wall. So why not? Is this the House of Wax that Paris Hilton was in? Right? Is that correct? Yes. Paris Hilton was in this version of House of Wax. I'm pretty sure this version of House of Wax is awful. I kind of remember hearing that it was awful, but I've never seen it, and maybe someday I will watch it. Definitely looking forward to 13 Ghosts, though. For sure. Sin City, the original, the first film, and a movie I love. I loved the Sin City comic. I read it as a kid, teenager. And when this movie was coming out, I remember them doing like a Comic-Con visuals comparison before it came out, where they were showing the comic book panels versus the shots in the trailer. And it was absolutely mind-blowing. Like Robert Rodriguez was literally duplicating the panels from the original Sin City comic, and it got me totally pumped about it. And then the movie came out, and it actually got good reviews, right? Like legitimate major press reviewers were loving this movie, and I loved it as well. Thought it was great. Sequel, disappointing. Not awful, but what can you do, right? All right, we're getting there. We are probably halfway there, I would guess. Let's look at some comments. Fast 4 was enough. I agree with that. Movies and Train Studios. I really love the Evil Dead remake. The ending is so bloody. It's awesome. Don't remember enough about it to agree, but I'll take your word for it. I think Gone Girl has the book style. That's what it was. Gone Girl, the other Fincher movie with the book style. I don't mind the book style, although I don't love it when they switch up the packaging. But I kind of wish that if they were gonna switch up the packaging, like just do all the Fincher movies in the book style. That way, when you put them in order, they look good next to each other. They don't look all, random. But what can you do, right? It's a part of collecting for sure. What else do we got? Movies and Train Studios. I miss arcades so much. I do as well. We have a couple of them here, like the bar arcade style, and it's fine. But most of them are far enough away from me that I'll never be a regular at them, type of thing. They used to be all over the place. Like you used to be able to go to 7-Eleven and there would be like 5 machines, and you could, get a little group of kids going where they show up every afternoon and play. But that is long gone for sure. And not to be the old man, but yeah, kind of sad that I'm sure the same things are happening. They're just happening online and not in person. Or people are skateboarding. There's other things that they've moved on to, and it's fine. But yeah, arcades, they just don't exist anymore. You must be an 80s kid. Yes, I am an 80s kid. I grew up mostly in the 80s, most of my preteen years in the 80s and teenager in the 90s. So Bruno says, I fell asleep watching the new Mortal Kombat. Was it my fault or the movie's fault? Well, I watched the new Mortal Kombat, and I mean, what's there to say about it? I don't like. I will not shy from telling you when I don't like something, but I don't like just bagging on things. But I mean, the one from the 90s is bad. It's not a good movie. The one from the 90s. Certainly the sequel is not good. But there is a charm to the original Mortal Kombat. Whereas I feel like the new Mortal Kombat didn't even attempt to duplicate that. They just made a typical big budget version of Mortal Kombat. Okay, fine, whatever. But super easy to move on from, right? And just forget you ever watched it. And I mean, I don't know how you expect to like build a big fan base out of what they gave us with that Mortal Kombat remake. It was pretty uninspiring from my perspective. So, official verdict, Bruno, not your fault. What's your favorite film from the Rob Zombie trilogy? Confession, never seen any of them. Never seen any of the Rob Zombie movies. Maybe someday I'll get to them. I don't have a problem with them. I've seen the Halloween Rob Zombie movies. I think he did 2 of them. But never seen From Hell or what are the other 2? I don't remember. The 2 that came before that. I liked White Zombie back in the day, but just never got around to them. Should I? You tell me. I ordered Gone Girl off of Amazon and got a normal Blu-ray case with it. I'm not sure if Gone with the Dragon Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is sold like that, but it might. I don't see Girl with the Dragon Tattoo out in the wild here in Orlando. There's obviously a bunch of them out there because that copy isn't worth much for sure. But they're not floating around here in Orlando, probably like they are in other places. It's interesting how regionally it changes quite a bit in used stores, used media stores, or even pawn shops. Like I took a trip up to Illinois for a cousin's wedding a few weeks ago and hit a couple pawn shops in town when I was there. And they had the same titles from store to store, but those titles were absolutely different than the ones I find here in Orlando. So people in Illinois don't watch the same movies in Florida, evidently, or at least they don't resell them to pawn shops. It's very weird how that works. There's like very specific titles that are all over the place down here that were on none of the shelves in Illinois, or at least in this specific town in Illinois. So haven't quite cracked the code on that, but it is fun to go to a new town and go to their shops and know these secondhand shops will probably have different titles than what you normally see. That's kind of fun. 80s greatest decade of all time, according to Jay Anderson. I mean, I lived it. It was great, but Hard to say of all time. Mr. Nichols, no, the 90s was the best. Little argument we got going on here in the chat. The 90s was good as well. I don't want to pick a favorite decade. I like all the decades. What's your favorite Child's Play movie, and did you enjoy the 2019 remake? Did not watch the 2019 remake, but not against it. My favorite Child's Play movie is the original. I think I've seen all, maybe not all the old ones, but like the early old ones, I have definitely seen. I'm sure they've made a ton that I am just not even aware of. But didn't watch the 2019 one. Should I? Is it good? Didn't hear much about it. Media Madness says, would love to be watching this live, but don't want to miss the Dodgers Cardinals 1-game playoff. You do you, man. Just watch the replay. It's all good. Not really a huge sports guy, although I will watch the Bears occasionally. And since I'm from Orlando, I like going to Magic games, but there's only so much time in the day. And if you cut out sports, it's amazing how much time you have to do other things. Same thing with video games. I don't really play video games. Occasionally, a big one will come out that I can't ignore. But for the most part, don't really play them. And I have all this time. It's crazy how that works. Bruno says, if you think the Evil Dead remake was bad, I saw Evil Dead, the musical in Vegas. It was so bad, it actually felt good. Interesting. I would absolutely watch an Evil Dead musical. That could be interesting. I mean, live. I'd probably never watch it at home unless the reviews were good. But going to a show, right? You can forgive a lot of sins when you actually see things live. Movie and Train Studios says, I enjoyed the new Mortal Kombat a lot. It's probably one of my biggest guilty pleasures. Can you call a movie that came out like 4 months ago a guilty pleasure? I think you have to wait a little while before you claim that. I think it's like cult movie. You can't claim a movie that came out within the last 5 years is a cult movie. It has to like stand the test of time. It has to gain a fan base that over the course of time is not going away. The fan base continues to grow as time moves on, right? Keyword is time. You have to give these things time before you can call them guilty pleasures or before you can call them cult films. But people don't. They just throw these words around willy-nilly. But I still love you. Movies and Train Studios. Whatever I post. Interesting screen name says, are you more of a Jason or Freddy person? Lots of horror questions. Jason or Freddy? I prefer Jason movies as comedies, to watch them as comedies. They don't scare me at all, but they're silly and fun and kind of slapsticky and super heightened movies, right? Whereas the Jason movies are slasher movies. They're suspenseful. They're just too. It's hard to pick between the two because they're two very different styles, two very different vibes. When I watch them, they're for two very different reasons. One is to laugh, kind of, and one is to be scared. And so I guess you're asking me to pick whether I enjoy laughing or whether I enjoy being scared. And I'll probably go with being scared, although, movies that make me laugh are awesome. Andrew Bain says, will you sell the less than $2 in a lot? Absolutely. I will be doing that. $2, anything that's worth $2 or $3 is going in a lot. Like one big lot, they'll probably sell on average for like $1 to $1.50. And I will lose money on those. But in the end, there were enough in here that are worth something more than $2 each. To more than make up for the movies I'm going to lose money on. And that's the strategy, right? Buy a lot so that you can get that per title average down, and then do enough of the homework to know that there's enough gems in there to pay it all back in the end, and then some. That's the goal. Let's jump back into it. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, another good movie, good comedy, and one I enjoy. Trying to remember who the director is on Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Nicholas Stoller. I enjoy that guy. His movies aren't very interesting, but they're good. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Yeah, first Captain America movie, Marvel movie. It's on Disney Plus, so the Blu-ray copies aren't worth a whole lot anymore. Shaun of the Dead. Love this movie. Have it on 4K in the Cornetto trilogy collection. And this is a perfect copy of it. This is whenever you see this across the bottom of a Blu-ray, that means it's probably in the first wave of Blu-rays that came out, like 2007 to 2010-ish. And that's definitely when this was bought. And it's in perfect condition and also not worth very much. The Mask of Zorro. First Zorro movie, I think. I think the sequel was called something else. Or maybe this is the sequel. I don't remember. Haven't seen this movie in a while. Haven't seen either of the Antonio Banderas. Blood Diamond, great Leonardo DiCaprio movie, directed by Edward Zwick. He does a strange accent in this movie, but it works for me. And I enjoy this movie. Got 5 Academy Award nominations. And I think when people are talking Leonardo DiCaprio, they generally forget it because he has better movies. I don't know, maybe flashier movies, but Blood Diamond's good for sure. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Probably tied with Dark Phoenix for worst X-Men movie. Yeah, this is pretty awful. And I don't have it in my collection, so I'm probably going to keep it because it's in flawless condition, right? And I have to continue collecting comic book movies because at some point I said that out loud that I was going to do that. So now I'm doing it. Super Bad. Another good comedy, again, from the early days of Blu-ray. You can tell just by the cover. Great comedy that I love and rewatch over and over. And yeah, it's a good one. The Terminator with French on the spine. So this is probably the Canadian release or maybe like the co-release with the US. Not sure. This one has a lenticular. At least things are changing on this lenticular, right? One Terminator to another. I don't know what this is supposed to symbolize. Why is one Terminator thin and the other one just kind of, maybe this is after the fight? I don't remember. But yeah, lenticular slipcover, flawless condition, not worth much, oddly enough. Do you like the Phantasm franchise? Never seen it. Lots of never seens tonight. I feel bad. I've seen a lot of movies. I have a Letterboxd account. I've seen over 4,000 movies, and you guys keep asking me about things that I've never seen, except for Mortal Kombat. But yeah, never seen it. Should I? That's the big question. Should I? My guilty pleasure is Never Back Down. Never Back Down. Is that the MMA movie? Never Back Down. Never Back Down. I think this is the Channing Tatum MMA movie, right? No, it's not. It's Sean Ferris, Amber Heard, and Digimon Hansu. Interesting. I'm sure I have heard of this. I have seen this. Yes. Okay. This is the movie I was thinking, although Channing Tatum is not in this for sure. But Never Back Down was filmed partially in Orlando, Florida, which is where I currently am. There's not too many movies that were filmed in Orlando, Florida. Florida Project from Sean Baker. There's more, but definitely there's not a lot. There was that one with about the housing crisis with Andrew Garfield in it. That was filmed in Orlando. There's one that was filmed at Disney, like surreptitiously without their permission. That was filmed in Orlando. There's more than a couple, but not a lot for sure. But Never Back Down was one of them. And there are shots in Never Back Down from my high school, which is the funnest of facts, I'm sure, for you guys. Here we go. Do you like here we go. Nick writes, if most of those have digitals, you should be able to make a good chunk of your money back. Not most of them, because since most of these were bought in the early days, I would say a good 50% of them have digital codes, but maybe 25% of that are the type of digital codes where you have to like put the disc in your computer and then type in the code and then it like rips the digital file to your hard drive. It's the old style, right? Not the ultraviolet movies anywhere style. So there were 27 titles with the new digital code style. I've already checked all the codes. All 27 were unclaimed. Basically, anything that said it had a digital code that is the movies anywhere style, he did not claim them. So they were all there. So out of the 125 titles, 27 of them came with valid digital codes. Not bad. Mr. Nichols says, you can tell an early Blu-ray as well with the chrome on the front. Yeah, exactly. I look for those. The hunt is what is fun, but the wife will kill me because of the addiction, according to Andrew. Yeah. I mean, it can get expensive. The way I do it, it's not monetarily expensive because I always make my money back and then some. So like all the Blu-rays that you see behind me, all the ones that you see today, they'll be paid for. Won't have cost me a dime in the end. Won't have cost me a dime after eBay fees. Won't have cost me a dime after buying, you know, bubble mailers, my supplies, all that stuff. It's all baked in for me. But it is costly in time, right? It's a time investment to buy Blu-rays, list them online, sell them, and get them to the post office. So you have to be willing to put in that cost, right? The effort to get all that done. But these days, you can literally grow an entire collection like the one you see behind me and all the Blu-rays we're going over today for literally $0. So just tell your wife that. Tell your wife, look, I can do this for free, basically, just my free time. But from a monetary perspective, you can literally get a huge Blu-ray collection and not have paid $1 for it in the end. You got to have a little capital up front to get the ball rolling. But once it's rolling, it doesn't cost you anything other than time. Pacific Rim 3D with slipcover. Love this movie from Guillermo del Toro. It's great. This is a lenticular slipcover. Again, pretty lazy slipcover. Maybe since a lot of these are early Blu-rays, maybe they got better. I don't know. Now You See Me Too, which is a lenticular that I sold, but I wish I had kept, had an awesome lenticular on it. Probably the best lenticular I've ever seen. I wish I had it here so I could show you guys. I should have kept it just so I could use it as an example when I'm talking about good lenticulars, because that lenticular has the whole group walking from one side of the cover to the other. And as you move the cover, these playing cards washed across the cover and like made the people disappear on the cover. It was awesome. It was a great lenticular, a great use of lenticular. This is boring. What's happening? This is a lenticular. It's giving you a little bit of a 3D effect on the kaiju. Who cares? Right? Put a little effort into it. Hunger Games. Love this movie. It's just the original, not the series. They sold a bazillion and more of them, so it's not worth much these days. Guardians of the Galaxy 3D, the original film in 3D. By memory, this is worth like $6 or $7 on eBay, and love this movie, and it's going to help pay for some of the titles I'd rather keep. Terminator 2 Judgment Day with slipcover. Little damage on the slipcover there, but not too bad. Good movie. Also a title that's been sold and resold on various formats over and over, so not worth a whole lot. The Dark Knight, the Christopher Nolan classic. Good movie. Already own it on 4K, and it's been out there. So Inception with lenticular slipcover, not in 3D. Good movie. I like Inception. No complaints. 2 more stacks. 1 more that aren't worth a whole lot, and then we'll get to the good stuff. Here we go. Get Him to the Greek. Good comedy. Kind kind of an offshoot of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I already own it, so that copy's going on eBay. 30 Days of Night. Love this movie. Love this movie. David Slade movie. He went on to do the last couple Twilights, but don't hold that against him. This one is awesome. It's got Josh Hartnett in it and Melissa George. And if you like vampire movies, if you like action horror, it's one of the best, in my opinion. Casino Royale, the first Daniel Craig 007 movie. Looking forward to the new 007 movie, even though I'm not hearing great things. Talk about an old Blu-ray. This is AVP Requiem. It's the digital copy special edition. Oh, sorry. Whenever I do these and I talk so much, my nasal cavities just activate immediately. It's weird how that works. Okay. Looks like there's comments coming in that I'm ignoring. I recently watched Escape from Tomorrow. That was secretly recorded in Disney World and Disneyland. That's exactly the movie I was talking about. Yeah, it was secretly recorded. They just kind of walked around the park and filmed things. Sometimes they shot things as a plate and then did a green screen later for the actual performance. And then there's like maybe more than half of it are sets that are supposedly under Disney World and Disneyland. But not a great movie, but interesting to see somebody actually accomplish all of that. Andrew says The Hunt is what is okay. Nick writes, some of the early codes can be redeemed directly through iTunes. Interesting. Maybe I'll give that a shot. Wait, how do you check digital codes without redeeming? The easiest way is go to moviesanywhere.com. Make sure you are not logged in, like 100% not logged in. Type in the code and it'll tell you what the code is for and whether it was redeemed. Easy as pie. Harder to do on iTunes. Not something I can describe super easily, but you can also check on iTunes. And it also involves like not being logged in, but you have to do it on a Mac and a bunch of other things. But yeah, there are ways. Hit Reddit, do a Reddit search, and there's like a long thread on how to check digital codes without actually redeeming them. Bruno says, you said you work in marketing. Me too. What do you do? I don't want to say too much, but a lot of it's social media marketing, some print marketing. I make videos for clients. I make websites. I've been doing it for a long time. And yeah, I did it for a marketing agency for 10 years and then went freelance about 5 years ago. So now I just have my own clients and it's fun. That's how I have the time to do this, basically, is because I manage all my own time. I don't have to go into an office or work for anybody else. It's pretty great. In fact, I would recommend to anybody out there who has a boss, if you don't like that boss or you've never liked any of your bosses, figure out a way to not have one anymore. It's pretty awesome. When you get there, it's hard to get there for sure. When I first went freelance, it took like 3 years to equal my paycheck, the paycheck that I left. And so it's a little painful in the beginning, but worth it in the long run if that's something that sounds appealing to you. Basement Blues says, if you do not log into your Movies Anywhere account, you can check the code. Pretty much exactly what I said. Thank you, Basement Blues. Nick writes, just go to Movies Anywhere. Okay, they're all telling him how to do it. Mr. Nichols, the Ring lenticular is better, or the Wave. Interesting. I think I've seen the Ring one. I think that's the one where she's crawling out of the TV, right? That one's good. At least there's some real movement to it, right? The Wave, I haven't seen that lenticular. I'm interested in seeing what it is. Void King says, I don't resell Blu-ray because of the time you put them on eBay and get rid of them. Yeah, it takes some time for sure. But if you want to get a big collection for free, that's what it costs you. Time. Nick, Right. If you have a local used record store like I have, I just trade them in there and use the store credit to get movies to add to my collection. I don't bother reselling blues under $8. Um, yeah, I mean, that's one strategy. I don't mind selling Blu-rays for like $5 or $6, even $4 if it occasionally happens, because I sell enough that are more than that I'm probably making the trip to the store anyway. And if I've paid $2.50 or less, I'm doubling the money on those. So, you know, every now and then I will take movies that have been on my eBay for a long time that the price has come down so far to like $3 or less and they're still not selling. I'll just lot them up and get rid of them because they're never going to sell at that price until it gets down to like $1. So might as well just get rid of them and not bother. Basement Blues, I added your eBay store to my favorites. I will keep checking to see what you list, as I still buy a lot from eBay. Awesome. Thank you, Basement Blues. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Pan's Labyrinth, another great Guillermo del Toro movie, and one I think he should have won the Oscar for. Shape of Water was good, but Pan's Labyrinth is excellent. No Country for Old Men, a Coen Brothers movie. Awesome. Josh Brolin, most underrated actor out there, I would say. He's in so many good movies. He's never the flashy character in movies, but he is like just a rock in movies, right? When you see him on the screen, you know this is gonna be fun. Even if it's not him that's being over the top, he picks good projects for sure. The Count of Monte Cristo. Sure, I've seen this. Jim Caviezel, Guy Pearce, Richard Harris, but don't remember much about it. Don't have it in my collection. Probably won't keep it. Disturbia. Good movie. I think it's a remake, technically, of a Hitchcock movie. Not Rear Window. Yeah, Rear Window. I don't remember. But yeah, good movie. Shia LaBeouf, early career Shia LaBeouf. I enjoy it. 21 Jump Street, the first movie. 22 Jump Street was somewhere in here as well. I'll probably put those together, like individually. Sometimes when movies aren't worth much, right? These are worth probably $1 to $3, depending on which title that we've talked about. Some of them are a little bit more, but most of them are in that range. But in this collection, there's 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. If you take those two movies and put them in a lot for like $9.99, individually, they're like $1 to $3, right? So total, at best, you're going to get $6 out of them. But for some reason, you put them in a lot for $9.99, $3 shipping, it sells. I can't tell you why. I mean, if they bought them individually, they'd have to pay shipping twice, but it would still be less than just $9.99 plus shipping. But it works. 100% it works. So if you can find titles that are sequels to each other, even if they're not worth much, put them in the same lot. People tend to ping on that. Or similar titles, right? So like Christopher Nolan titles, Inception and Interstellar. Put them in one lot, not worth very much individually, will sell at $9.99 together for some reason. Just keep that in mind. Also, less, packaging material. Life of Pi. This is the 3D version of Life of Pi. I was hoping this one was worth a good deal of money, and turns out not a lot of money, less than $10, but not like nothing for sure. And it's flawless. Love flawless, like new copies that I don't have to think about the condition of for sure. Real Steel on Blu-ray. Hugh Jackman movie with giant robots. Giant robots. I think they were like 12 feet. Does that constitute giant? It does if you're talking about people. But as far as robots go, I mean, like, compared to Pacific Rim, I wouldn't say that's giant. Anyway, fun movie, but pretty forgettable in the end, I would say. Terminator Salvation, director's cut, brand new, still sealed, perfect slipcover, still not worth much. Even though Probably short of Terminator 2. Like, if I had to rank Terminators, you'd go T2, Terminator, Terminator Salvation, for sure. I enjoyed Terminator Salvation. Not everybody does, but I do. District 9, which is great. Can't wait to find this on 4K. Having a hard time. Pretty sure there's a 4K out there, and I'm not finding it in lots or anywhere else. So I might have to henpeck that one out of, a single eBay sale. Isn't there like a Neil Blomkamp collection, right, with District 9 and what are the other ones? Chappie and Elysium. I think there's a 4K collection, a Neil Blomkamp 4K collection with those 3 titles. I want that collection. I'll just sell off my Blu-rays and maybe I'll just pick that up and get it over with, because I doubt I'll ever find that out in the wild in a store for sure. World War Z in 3D. They made so many of these. Like, you can buy it at a Big Lots brand new for like $3 right now in 3D, flawless condition. Not worth anything for the most part. I mean, they expected to sell a lot of those because they printed so many of them. Seven, another David Fincher classic. Good movie, love it. Not worth much. Let's see. We've got Basement Blues is hoping you post Free Willy on eBay. I have been on the hunt for Free Willy. I know this was another Mr. Nichols holy grail that he found a little while ago. I think he got it. I think he bought it on eBay. I don't know if he got a great price on it, but part of buying and selling is that you'll make money off movies that you don't necessarily want, and then you have that money ready to go to pay a premium for the one that you really want. So even if he didn't get a great deal on that Free Willy, he got the Free Willy, and he got it off the profits of Blu-rays that he sold. So in my opinion, that's a score for sure. That's exactly how I do it. I buy the more expensive ones with the profits from the ones that I don't care about. Let's see. Bruno writes, you're absolutely right. I have my own creative hub today, my own clients. I'm free to build partnerships with other professionals and help some people on the way. Far more satisfying than agencies. Right, Bruno. That's exactly what happened to me. I mean, I liked the previous place that I worked. I worked there for 10 years. I would not have stayed if I didn't like working there. But they had a no freelancing policy. And that sucked for sure. And it was time to move on, and it's way better to I miss the people there, but I do not miss the politics for sure. Mr. Nichols, District 9 4K is $9 on Mercari. Not bad, but I have the Neil Blomkamp Digibook. Yep. Brian Goes Blue says, hey, Bandit, hope you're doing well. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. I sound nasally. That's just because my sinuses flared up the moment I hit go live, which is how it tends to work. It's one of the downsides of wearing a bandana while you talk for roughly an hour and 15 minutes. Bruno writes, Free Willy is more of a white whale than a grail. I agree. That is a better way of describing it, for sure. Zombie Land. Great movie, disappointing sequel, but what can you do? They sold 1 million Zombielands, so they are not worth much on the aftermarket. Dumb and Dumber, new, sealed, not worth much. I mean, it's worth a lot to me because I love it, but not worth much on the aftermarket. The Punisher, Thomas Jane, good Punisher movie for sure, although I did enjoy the sequel. The sequel is wacky. It's crazy and very colorful, but I liked the original Punisher with Thomas Jane. I think if they brought Punisher back, I mean, Thomas Jane might have aged out, but if they brought him back, wouldn't bother me at all. Point Break, the original, not the crummy remake of recent years. Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves, an 80s classic. 80s, or was that early 90s? Don't remember, but that is a classic for sure. Martin Scorsese's Shutter Island, another Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Really enjoy this one. I have it on 4K, so I don't need to keep that copy. Troy Director's Cut, another movie you can find at any moment in Orlando at any pawn shop. So there's no reason to buy it off a site like eBay. Not worth a whole lot of money. Fun movie, but it definitely has pacing problems. And I think it's a good first time watch, but nobody needs to rewatch Troy for sure. Speaking of sword and sandal movies that definitely have rewatch value, Gladiator, right? Ridley Scott. Awesome movie. I'm sure you guys have seen this. I don't need to sell it to anybody, but yeah, love Gladiator. It won Best Picture for a reason. I have it on 4K, so I'm going to resell this pristine copy. I think that fetches about $4 or $5 on eBay. Swordfish fetches like $1 on eBay. Not a great movie. Certainly a decent first time watch. You're not going to hate it, but you're also not going to remember much about it except for maybe one pool scene with Halle Berry. That might be the only thing. That and maybe Hugh Jackman trying to pull off being a hacker. Those are maybe the only two things you'll remember from this movie. The pool scene and Hugh Jackman being miscast. Taken, the original Liam Neeson movie, the only Taken movie they should have made. The others are fine, but what's the point, right? What's the point? Somebody else get took? Let's make a sequel. Okay. Hot Fuzz, another movie in the Cornetto trilogy from Edgar Wright. Love this movie. I actually went to the town in the UK where a good deal of it was filmed, and it's Edgar Wright's hometown that I'm drawing a blank on the name of. But it was awesome. I actually got to see the movie. If you remember in Hot Fuzz, the courtyard scene where, if you've seen Hot Fuzz, spoiler alert, there's like a cult element to the movie. There's literally a cult in the town, and they're like in a circle. I think they're about to sacrifice something, or maybe they're just having a meeting. I don't remember, but they're in the courtyard of like a castle-y type courtyard. I got to watch the movie on a big screen in that courtyard in the town in the UK that Hot Fuzz was filmed. It was great. Four Brothers. This is the last of the titles that are not worth much. We're going to get into the stack of titles that actually have a decent value, but Four Brothers, a movie I've seen, literally don't remember a single thing about this movie. And I've seen it. But not going to keep it. Don't care at all. Okay. That's it for the movies that aren't worth a whole lot of money. Some of these I'm going to lot up together. If they're worth like less than $3, they're getting lotted up together. One sale, one auction, like new condition, out the door, right? Perfect. The ones that are basically the threshold between these titles and the ones we're about to go through was like a $10 threshold. So everything from now on is worth $10 or more, double digits or more. Everything else here, about 50% of them were worth like $1 to $3, and the rest of them were like $3 to $9 or so. So when I say not worth anything, a lot of them have value, just not a lot of value, right? So these are the titles that have double digits estimated value on eBay based on recent sold buy it now listings. The Amazing Spider-Man in 3D with lenticular slipcover. Again, I mean, all right, I'm done ranting about bad lenticulars. But not my favorite version of Spider-Man. I didn't hate it, but I have an affinity for the Raimi versions. So let's see if there's any new comments. Love the popsicle steak torture scene. Bruno, I don't know what movie that's from. Is that from Swordfish? I don't remember. Void King. For me, my holy grail is Monkey Bone. Yeah, Monkey Bone's great, and I would absolutely keep that if I found it in the wild. I like that movie. Mr. Nichols says, "Are you not entertained?" I currently am entertained. I can confirm. Eric writes, John Barenthal is a better Punisher. I never watched the Punisher series on Netflix. I did hear it was good, but never got around to it. And then Marvel eventually left Netflix, and I was like, well, maybe I don't have to watch it. You tell me. Bish Nichols writes, if you ever found the White Noise double pack, let me know. I want it. All right. I will absolutely get that for you if I ever come across it, although I've never seen it out in the wild here. Doesn't mean I won't find it, though. Bruno writes, it's from Punisher. Oh, okay. The popsicle steak torture scene. I need to rewatch Punisher, obviously. I don't remember that scene. John Barenthal would make a nice Wolverine, according to Bruno. I agree. I'm into it. Although I hope they get Hugh Jackman back for MCU Wolverine. I know they're probably not going to do that, and he doesn't want to do it. But hey, money talks, right? Marvel digs deep in those pockets. I guarantee you that guy's coming back, even if it's in a limited capacity, right? And Hugh Jackman, still a beast in the gym. And I think it would be fine, especially if they rewound time and gave him a little digital de-aging. It would be fine. Anyway, Amazing Spider-Man in 3D with lenticular. It's got the clear case going on, which is fine. Although I prefer the cases to be, the same on my shelf. So I don't particularly love the clear cases unless they're Criterions, because the Criterions fill the spine all the way up to the edge. So you can't really tell it's a clear case. Plus, when the Criterions are next to each other, they're all clear. So it looks good. But for normal Blu-rays, just give me the normal blue case. But yeah, this is worth $10. Not bad, even opened. Toy Story 3. Nothing super special with this. I think this is the original release of Toy Story 3, but this copy is brand new and sealed and runs about $10 on eBay. Estimated value. Galaxy Quest, just the standard Blu-ray, still sealed, worth $10 on eBay. Masters of the Universe, right? This is the live action He-Man movie, I think from the 80s, directed by Gary Goddard. It is not good, but if you were a kid in the 80s and you saw this in the theater, you'll probably have some kind of nostalgic love for it today. And it holds a decent value on Blu-ray, about $10, probably half what it cost on release, even used. Not bad. Legend of the Guardians, the Owls of Gaul, right? In 3D, still sealed, brand new. Never seen this movie. It's probably pretty much, I'm pretty sure, the only Zack Snyder movie I've never seen. And there's definitely people who stump for this movie. He's, never done animation. This is like the one animated movie he's directed. And I've heard that it's absolutely watchable and kind of odd because it's Zack Snyder reinterpreting his style for a kids movie with owls. If you've seen this, let me know if I should hunt it down. I will not be reopening this 3D version. I will be selling it. It's worth about $11 on eBay. I don't have these memorized. It's on a piece of paper in front of me. That would be crazy if I memorized them. Bruno writes, I have this Spider-Man edition. I guess the original owner kept the lizard figure. Oh, was there a lizard figure with that Amazing Spider-Man? Was that the movie with lizard in it? I don't really remember. All right. We've got here a box set, the Underworld Trilogy. That tells you how long ago this Blu-ray was sold. This was back when Underworld was just a trilogy. I think there's at least 4 movies in the Underworld series at this point. But yeah, this is the trilogy box. It's basically just the individual releases of the first 3 Underworld movies. But these are in flawless condition. It comes with this little paper sleeved extra bonus disc for some reason. I guess this is this is the anime shorts. Underworld, Endless War, and anime shorts. So I guess it's just like a little bonus disc for the Underworld trilogy, which I'm sure have been sold when the fourth movie came out. Maybe there's a fifth movie. I don't remember how many movies are in the Underworld series. I've seen all of them and only really remember moments from the first. The rest just kind of meld together in my brain. How about you guys? That Underworld trilogy set is worth $13. So on a per title average, not a lot, right? Like if you just divide that up, it's like $4.30 or so each. But together, $13, one sale, like new, out the door. Kiss of the Dragon. Jet Li, Bridget Fonda. Good martial arts movie. Good. I don't know. Entertaining martial arts movie. I'll give it that. But yeah, worth a decent amount of money for one reason or another. $14 on eBay. I don't care about that movie, so I will be reselling it to help pay for some of the titles in this haul that I'd rather keep. All right, this is another one that came damaged, but I'm gonna fix it probably. This is the Friday the 13th Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy versus Jason collection. Triple feature, I guess you would call it, with slipcover. But the slipcover, the glue has come off of it. So the slipcover is kind of in flawless condition with the exception of the glue issue. So I'll probably re-glue it. Either that or I'll sell it without the glue and note it in the condition that the slipcover is flawless, but let them glue it possibly. I don't know. Haven't decided yet because there is a chance you're going to screw it up with the glue. Maybe I let them do it. That way it's their problem. Anyway, yeah, but I like all of these movies. I think these are all the originals, right? I don't think this is the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. And I think this is just the original Friday the 13th, original Nightmare, and then of course the movie where the two characters from these movies fought. Freddy versus Jason. I love that movie. I wish they had made more of the versus style movies. I don't necessarily need more Jason versus Freddy, but other horror characters versus each other, I'm all for it. Love that. That triple feature pack is worth $15. So roughly $5 per film, but one sale out the door. Super easy. Mr. Nichols writes, "Oh, that triple feature slip is fire and worth some money." I thought so too, but I was not seeing that on eBay. So let me know if you see something different because my research said that title, even with slipcover, worth about $15. Not bad. It's something, but it's not what I would call a lot of money for sure. Indiana Jones, the collection. They sold a ton of these. Again, recently released in 4K. This is kind of the digibook format, but in flawless condition. Awesome pages, just perfect. Love this setup. I kind of wish, like I've seen videos of the new 4K edition of Indiana Jones, the complete adventures, with kind of the white cheapo cardboard case. And what are they doing? Like this packaging was amazing. It was awesome, right? I mean, I don't love the digibook format, but I just don't like the white. Like the white, even on camera, it just looks bad. It doesn't say Indiana Jones to me, the white box. And then on top of that, hearing people say that it's flimsy when this is solid. This is what you want on your shelf, right? A solid package that you've probably paid far too much for brand new. If you're gonna pay that kind of money, give me good packaging. And I really hate the white, and I'm going to take everybody's word for it that it's also flimsy. But this was not. The Blu-ray release of it was not. So I don't know why they can't get it right a second time when they already got it right once. This collection is worth about $20 on eBay. So for 4 movies, not too bad. Well, 3 movies and a piece of trash, you know. Avatar in 3D. This is the limited edition 3D series with a lenticular cover. Ooh, look at all that movement in the eyes. Okay, whatever. Yeah, perfect condition. Avatar, a movie they sold and resold on Blu-ray over and over. I was hoping this 3D version would be worth a whole lot. Instead, it's worth about $20, which is comparatively to other versions of Avatar, a lot of money. It's not a lot of money, but other versions of Avatar, like your standard Blu-ray release version of Avatar, is like worth $1 or $2. So to be able to get $20 out of the movie Avatar is a lot of money when it comes to reselling Blu-rays. So um, Basement Blue says the Friday the 13th triple pack are the remakes. Really? That's disappointing. They should have put the originals in there. I was going to keep it, but I don't care about the remakes. But I would like copies of the classic Freddy and Jason. All right, I might have to rework that one. Rocky has dropped in and asks, "Hi, how are you doing?" I'm doing pretty great. Thanks for asking, Rocky. All right, here we go. There's 4 more, and these are going up in value. This next one's worth $25. It's the Alien Quadrilogy. I'm sure you guys have seen these floating around. It's been out on Blu-ray for quite a while. This is in flawless condition. Like, there's not even shelf wear. When I say flawless, I kind of see like a little tiny white speck right there. So maybe not flawless, but pretty darn close to flawless. I mean, like, I'm sure you get in this game for long enough, and these look good compared to most copies of this type of title. Just because people move them around on shelves and they wear down the outsides. But yeah, this is the Alien Quadrilogy. It's the 4 non-versus Alien movies, so no versus Predators, but the other Alien movies, no Prometheus, etc. Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection in digibook form. And yeah, pretty close to flawless. Certainly the inner book is flawless. So yeah, if you want Alien Quadrilogy, the first 4 Alien movies in flawless condition, go on eBay. Buy it from me or buy it from somebody else. It only runs about $25 to own the good Aliens movies because I don't like the versus ones. Although I do like Prometheus. But yeah, the original quadrilogy only going to cost you $25 for like new copy of it on eBay. So keep that in mind. I already own it. It's on my shelf. And so I will be reselling it. Hopefully they will have the same 4 movies in 4K someday because I will absolutely upgrade those. But so far hasn't happened, at least for all 4. 3 more. This is the Nightmare Before Christmas in 3D. Love this movie. I already have a copy of it on Blu-ray. Don't have the 3D version. Don't need the 3D version. Don't have a 3D TV. So I'm going to resell this copy. It fetches $25 on eBay. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having to crane my head because I was going to use this really expensive camera for this stream that failed on me right at the beginning. So I'm using my laptop right now. And so it means some of the prices are below my laptop. So you'll have to forgive me here for a second as I crane my neck to see the prices. I want to get them right for you guys. Anyway, Nightmare Before Christmas. Love this movie. People think it's a Tim Burton movie. It's not. It was directed by a guy named Henry Selick. Tim Burton produced it. It certainly looks like a Tim Burton movie, but short of his producing role, it's not his movie for sure. It's Henry Selick's movie, but it's a good one. Halloween classic, maybe my favorite Halloween movie. I know there's some horror heads out there that think that's probably blasphemy, but I like horror movies. I just not at the level that some people like them for sure. So like 80s slashers, I didn't really watch them as a kid when I grew up in the 80s. I like them, but I don't have like a deep love for them. And so, you know, you end up with my favorite Halloween movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Halloween movie or Christmas movie? You tell me. Or both. Is it the only movie that can be both simultaneously? Like a double holiday movie? You tell me. Basement Blues says that Friday the 13th triple pack are the remakes. Okay, I read that. Rocky says, been watching your videos for some time now. Keep up the hard work. I love going Blu-ray hunting. It is getting harder to find movies anymore. I agree. It is getting harder. 2 more titles. The Lord of the Rings, right? You guys have seen this set out there. It's been out for quite a while. This is the extended edition trilogy pack. It is thick as heck. I think each movie has like 6 discs on the inside. It's pretty crazy. It's got the magnetic cover, in flawless condition. Just a huge pack of movies. And speaking of good packaging, this was great packaging for sure. I mean, it's a little big and bulky on your shelf, but if you're going to sell a collector's edition and you're going to sell it at a premium, this was the way to do it. Like I wish the Indiana Jones movies came in something like this, but unfortunately, the new 4Ks did not. So this still fetches a pretty penny on eBay, even though the 4Ks are out and have been out. I own it on 4K, so I'm not going to be keeping this copy. This will be the 3rd or 4th copy of this that I sell, and it will easily sell for $40 on eBay. So it's going to go a long way to pay off some of the titles I'd rather keep, or pay back some of the titles that are not going to catch $40 for 3 titles. So, and the final title in this haul is one that I'm really excited about, and I'm very, I don't know what to do with it. So maybe if you guys have any opinions, leave it in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, let me know in a comment what I should do with this. Mr. Nichols writes, it's a Christmas movie. It says it in the title. I mean, yes, it does say the word Christmas in the title, but it's about Halloween characters and about Christmas. So I don't know. I think it's up for debate. I think it's probably both in my mind. Although I don't think I've ever watched it around Christmas. I think I always watch it around Halloween when I watch it. Bruno writes, I wish I had the Hobbit set that matches this one. I agree, although I have the Hobbit titles all on individual titles, but I'd prefer to have them on 4K. So someday I will get them on 4K and sell my original individual title set. But I doubt they're worth much. I'll probably get $10 to $12 for the original set on with individual titles, but it's getting there. Basement Blues writes, The Lord of the Rings is worth keeping for the special features. See, the thing is, I've watched all the special features on DVD when they originally came out in those like book style. I literally watched every special feature on the original film and the Two Towers, on Fellowship and Two Towers. Then I was like so burnt out on the special features, because when I say literally, like each of those movies, the extended edition collections had 4 feature-length commentaries on them. So forgetting like the 4 hours of documentaries per film, in order to watch all the special features, you had to watch the movie 4 times with commentary. I did that for Fellowship, I did that for Two Towers, and then by the time Return of the King came around, which the extended edition is like practically a 3.5-hour movie, I listened to the commentary from Peter Jackson and somebody else is on it. I forget who. And that's it. Like I watched a little bit of the making ofs, but not the full documentary. I was like burnt out on special features for Lord of the Rings, and I'm still to this day don't need to see any more behind the scenes of Lord of the Rings. So I don't really care about the special features. I'd rather just have the 4K presentation of the films. That's what I'm going to watch if I'm going to watch anything from them. But I do understand that like the original DVDs and this Blu-ray set have special features that just aren't on the 4Ks for one reason or another. Rocky writes, I would love to buy some movies from you. Do you just do eBay or other selling methods? Right now, I just do eBay. Find me on eBay, same name, Blu-ray Bandit. There's a link in most videos description directly to my eBay channel. But don't just buy from me, like troll eBay, right? Buy things on eBay. Consider, like, if you're the type of person who buys things new, are there titles you missed that came out a year or two ago? Buy them on eBay. I know it sounds very obvious, but I think sometimes people get stuck in the cycle of buying new titles, and then they end up buying things that they don't really care about anyway. And for some reason, they won't go back and buy catalog titles that came out, you know, anywhere from 14 years ago now, since the dawn of Blu-ray. And they can buy like 5 of them for the same price as the brand new copy of the movie they don't even like. It's insanity to me, especially when you can find like new copies on eBay. So yeah, just if you're not into the aftermarket, just go buy some stuff that you actually like and don't worry about what came out this week, having what was released this week. I know some of you love that. It's fine. If you're into that and you got the cash, do it. But if you're limited on cash and you can only buy one thing in that week, just think about it. Do you really need that copy of Space Jam Legacy? Come on. Go buy a classic. Go buy 5 classics for the same price on the used market. Anyway, rant over. The final title in this haul is worth $97. Okay? $97 for this final title. It's a collection. A collection from a very popular director. There's actually 9 movies in this collection, so it's not just one title. It's nine movies in this collection. It's the Tarantino XX collection. So this is the big one in this haul. Like, I knew that this was worth roughly $100 when I saw the listing on Facebook Marketplace, and so I knew that if I bought the listing on Facebook Marketplace, it was local, so I could go pick it up. That if I wanted to sell this one, it would pay off nearly, half of it in one shot. So I knew I couldn't lose basically by buying this from Facebook Marketplace for $250, the entire haul, because this title alone is going to fetch roughly $100. I think I'll get like about between $90 and $100 for it. So this collection is awesome. It has basically every Tarantino movie except for the most recent, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's got Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Bastards, Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill, both volumes, Jackie Brown, True Romance, and Death Proof. And I already have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on 4K. So between this and my 4K, I've got all the Tarantinos now, which is awesome. I already had all the Tarantinos just as individual titles. So that's the big question of the day is, do I keep this as a space saver and maintain the fact that I have all the Tarantino titles, or do I keep my original titles and resell this because it'll go a long way to paying off this haul itself? What do you guys think? I have no idea what to do in this case. But yeah, this is awesome. It's got a great slipcover on the outside. On the inside, it's one of these like fold out jewel cases, and it folds out to like a ridiculous amount. There you go. It keeps folding and folding and folding. But yeah, there's just it's practically his entire career, right, in one set, minus Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it runs for $97 on eBay. And I knew if I bought this set just based on this collection alone, it would be worth it in the end. And so I bit the bullet. Between that and some of the other things in here, I knew I could easily make that $250 investment back. Basement Blues says, you got your money right there. I agree. This is why we get along. Love the rant. I'm the same way. Awesome. Basement Blues says, wow, that's a nice set. Rocky writes, I haven't bought from eBay. Scared of scams these days. I've seen people get scammed. There's scams out there for sure, but just find sellers with high feedback ratings. By high, I mean like over 100 for sure. I have thousands. And so if you can find somebody with like that much feedback and they're in the high 90s, like 97, 98, 99, 100%, they're fine. I mean, 3% of people are going to have a problem one way or another. I personally, as it stands right now, am at literally 100% feedback. Not bragging, but that's how I do. And so, yeah, just find honest sellers and then stick to them. Or if you find something else, like read the feedback. You know what I mean? Look before you buy, and you'll be fine. Generally on eBay. I would love to buy. Here we go. Basement Blues is the godfather of physical media, according to Vincent. I agree. Basement Blues is great. I remember finding a Basement Blues video where he's like building shelving. It was awesome. I think that was my very first Basement Blues video. And since then, I've been watching him. That was like a couple years ago, I think. But yeah. Love Basement Blues channel. If you guys have not checked him out, definitely do it. Mr. Nichols says, keep it, sell the lot. I guess you're saying keep this set and sell my individual titles. It's probably what I'm going to do because I'm going to save a lot of space if I do that. Vincent says Basement Blues has 3 copies of every movie. He proved us wrong tonight. He only has, I know for a fact, he only has 1 copy of The Last Samurai. So, Void King says, keep. There's a missing movie. Oh, never mind. It's hard to see if there's a movie or not. Basement Blue says, thanks. Yeah, no, there's no movies missing. This is Tarantino's career up until Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I own on 4K. So since other than Inglourious Bastards, which I've heard the 4K of Inglourious Bastards is questionable, there's no reason not to just have the Blu-rays at this point. Hopefully someday they will put a set together like this. I think this is the UK set, which I don't think this was released in the US. Like they got all the studios together in the UK to put this set together. Unless they do that on 4K, I don't see all Tarantino titles making the jump to 4K. So I don't know. But I'll probably keep the set and still make all my money back. Just to remind you, I paid $250 for 125 titles over the last hour and 50 minutes. We've talked about all 125 titles. There were 10 3D titles. There were 38 with slipcovers. There were 10 brand new titles. There were 27 titles with valid digital codes inside of them. I paid $250. Estimated total value for all 125 titles, $622. Okay? So nothing crazy, but if you take my $250, multiply it out, more than doubled my money. So once I sell all of these, I will have made my $250 investment back and probably have at least another $250 plus left over to buy other titles that I'd rather have, right? Buy brand new maybe I finally go get that ugly white cased version of Indiana Jones on 4K. Maybe I eventually go get that because of this particular haul. That's my general buying strategy. Buy in bulk, sell, use the proceeds to buy the titles. I'm just not going to find out in the wild. So Bruno is asking, are we getting some codes today, Bandit? Why don't we do a code? What code is this? It fell out of one of the movies that I opened. I think this is the... I don't remember what code this is. I don't know. You guys want a code? What do you want a code for? I mean, I don't normally do these live, so I don't normally get to ask you guys what you want a code for. but I'm down for giving you a code, like a specific one that you guys want. I think it's going to be a race. I'm not going to do a bunch of codes, but I'm happy to hold one up on the screen. Let's see. Digital codes. What do I have codes for? What do you guys want? What type of movie do you want? What genre of movie do you want a code for? And I will try to make it happen. Bruno writes, I would love to see a live directly from the pawn. I agree, and that will never happen. Never happen. I don't even record in pawn shops because one, I don't like drawing attention to myself in that way because I'm already buying things for less money, and then like a good half of them I'm reselling for more money. And so they're not really looking for people to come into pawn shops and buy things low and then go resell them for more money. They're just not looking for resellers to take their valuable stock like that. Now, they don't know they're worth money, so I think it's on them to know what they're selling. But pawn shops, some of them are great and feel like you're walking into a Walmart, and some of them are very seedy and they're run by people who are not looking to not make the maximum on everything in their shops. So I generally try to play it low key when I'm in a pawn shop, which means I'm not pulling out a phone and filming a bunch of stuff. So probably never going to happen. Um, Basement Blue says, this was a great live. I would love to see more like this from you and Mr. Nichols. Good luck with your sales. I see one item that I'm interested in. Awesome. Rocky writes, that's a nice haul. I should start doing this kind of stuff. Buy and flip. I encourage it. Just take some titles that you don't like that are in your own collection. Look them up on eBay. Find out what they're worth. If you find one that's worth like $10 or more, sell it. See if you like that process. If you do more. Eventually, it will grow. Those are my suggestions. Basement Blue says, don't wear the bandit mask in the pawn shop. I do. In fact, the bandit mask started during the pandemic. I have a decent sized beard under here. I hate masks, so but I wear them because they're a necessity, and at least in my area. And so I got used to wearing the bandana while I was Blu-ray hunting, and that's the genesis of the Blu-ray Bandit. Silly enough. Bruno writes, me personally would love the code for Cloud Atlas. Mike and Kelly from Orlando says, I'll be hitting you up soon on IG. I'm interested in a Blu-ray. Awesome. Thank you, Mike and Kelly from Orlando. Yeah, hit me up. Are you still in Orlando? I've met a few viewers, subscribers on the YouTube channel from Orlando, and they're all cool people so far. Okay, Bruno. Me personally would love the code for Cloud Atlas. Was Cloud Atlas one of the movies that came with a code? I don't see it. Let me look at the bottom. I have these all in a spreadsheet. I don't see it. No Cloud Atlas, unfortunately. But I do have 10 Cloverfield Lane, 12 Years a Slave, Two Guns, A Cure for Wellness, A Ghost Story, Most Violent Year, Alita, Amy, Argo, Avengers Endgame, Bad Boys 1 and 2 in one code, Bad Boys for Life, Big Hero 6, Black Mass, Blade Runner, Braveheart, Captain Phillips, Cars 3 and 4K, Centurion, Chappie in 4K. Any of those do anything for you? Are you going to return on the 4Ks battle? I didn't even know there was going to be a 4Ks battle. Oh, you mean 4K D-Rays battle. I thought you meant 4K D-Ray was going to do a battle that's 4Ks only. I don't think I do very well on a battle that's 4Ks only, just because I only have like 150 of them, and they're all good movies. I wouldn't own them if they weren't, but it's not a group. That's not a big selection for sure. So, but I mean, even if you have a lot of the 4Ks, even if you have a lot of 4Ks, I would say how many do you have? 500? There's just not that many to begin with. So, but I would absolutely watch a 4K centric battle for sure. I love the movie battles. 4K D-Ray, great guy, the perfect host for that. I would say I generally just kind of make my videos over here on my own channel, and I didn't interact with like the rest of the YouTube community very much until I found the battles. Like the battles have, uh, I feel like I'm a part of a bigger community now because of the battles, and I'm not sure that would have happened. It certainly wouldn't have happened as fast as it did if it wasn't for those battles. I think 4K D-Ray does the most for the community, for the BlueTube community than any of us do for the most part. I mean, like even the big guys, which are great, they can go do their own channels and not interact much. It's fine. I'm not criticizing. But 4K D-Ray and his battles, I think, are a good thing for the community, and I hope he continues doing them. And as much as he'd like me to participate, I will absolutely be there to participate because I love them. It's very nerdy to be on them and show off your Blu-rays in a competition style. Very nerdy thing to do, but I'm down for it. Right? Why not? Okay, I'll be hitting you up soon on IG. Oh yeah, 5 minutes from Lake Eola, Mike and Kelly from Orlando. Awesome. I'm I'm South Cimarron between the 408 and the airport, which means nothing to people from outside Orlando, but Mike and Kelly will know what that is. Rocky writes, have a good night. I'm going to check your eBay out. Thank you. Alita would be nice, according to Rocky. Culture Trini is here. Welcome, Culture Trini. How do you feel about eBay taking away PayPal from sellers, but still charging the PayPal fees? I mean, how do I feel about it? It didn't change my bottom line, so I don't really care. But it would have been a nice bonus, right? Like, hey, we're changing the system on you. You have no decision in it, and really there's no reason for us to take these fees, but we're going to take them anyway. It's kind of bullcrap. I agree. But it also doesn't change the formula any for me. I know some categories have changed, but generally Blu-rays in the range that I sell them in, nothing changed. So ultimately, I'm not upset about it, but it would have been nice if PayPal or if eBay was just like, hey, we're moving to this new system and it's better. And also you're going to save money. They could have done it that way and been, good overlords, but instead they didn't do that. So what can you do? Right? Bruno writes, been 3 times to Orlando. Hope to live there some point in my life. Orlando's great, but just like everywhere, has its downsides. Pretty clean city, pretty progressive city. At least the city center is. It's really hot here though. Man, the summer it's brutal for sure. So you got to be ready for that, and you got to be ready for like it to be hot a lot through most of the year. Like we get 3.5, 4 good months of weather, and the rest of it is pretty darn hot. So just be ready for that. And everything's spread out. Just don't expect to walk anywhere. You gotta drive just about everywhere in Orlando. Unfortunately, it's not like some other cities where, I mean, unless you're like close to downtown, maybe. But even then, like downtown, there's just not a lot of grocery stores. So you're probably gonna have to get into a car at some point, unless you really like to walk. So, and it's hot. It's not fun to walk everywhere in Orlando. All right. So they didn't have Cloud City. And somebody made a request for one that I mentioned. Alita would be nice, according to Rocky. So let's do a code for Alita. Alita Battle Angel. I'm going to read it out loud, and you guys are going to type it in. And whoever has the least delay is probably going to win it. So what I would recommend is that you open up moviesanywhere.com/redeem. I'll give you a second to do that. open moviesanywhere.com/redeem. And I'm going to read out the code, and you guys can type it as I read it. And whoever gets that last letter first takes it. All right, this is for Alita Battle Angel in HD on Movies Anywhere. Are you guys ready? I don't care. I'm going to start. There's a lot of letters here, so I will try to pronunciate. I'll tell you when I have read the last letter. Okay? F, C, the number 3, the letter B as in boy, the number 9, the letter U, the letter H, the number 7, the letter V, the letter L, the letter R, the number 0, the number 9, the number P, sorry, the letter P, another letter P, so 2 letter Ps, the number 6, and that's it. That's all of them. FC3, B9, UH, 7, VLR, 09, PP6. That's the code. Is the code expired? Shouldn't be. It wasn't at one point when I put it in my spreadsheet. So probably not, but if it is, let me know. I think it will tell you that. Vincent writes, do you ever buy new releases? Yes. I mean, by new, do you mean like week of? Because then no. But sometimes I buy new releases, as in like within the first 30 days I buy it, and I buy it new from a store. Or probably Amazon, most likely. Or eBay brand new sometimes. But yes, I buy new releases. I just buy them with the money that I make from selling used copies of movies that I care less about or already have a copy of. So yes, I buy new releases. Bruno wrote, got it. Thanks. Awesome, Bruno. Great. I know Bruno enjoys the digital codes. Bruno, I encourage you to go into older videos and check the codes on those, because some of those earlier videos, I don't think people ever redeem the codes on. So I couldn't tell you which ones. I'm curious, but I'm sure there are more than a couple in those early videos that only have a couple hundred views on them that have digital codes that are probably still working. So we're at 2 hours. I think we're done with this. Don't do lives very much, but this was fun. Probably, most likely, the next live I do will be at 1,000 subscribers, where I'm going to give away a big old stack of physical media. You can kind of see in that far corner. This is like all the physical media that I'm going to give away. It doesn't look like a big stack in the corner of my room, but it is a big stack, and it includes, they're all collections. There's no individual titles. They're all collections in that corner. And I'm going to give them away, physical copies of Blu-rays, when I hit 1,000 subscribers in a live just like this. So we're just slowly making our way towards that number. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this. It was awesome, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, bye.